Pre-match carnage. Bournemouth versus Liverpool. Humongous game as every game is right now. Salah injury update. Trent update. Sabozlai update. Robertson update. Liverpool FC update. Liverpool FC chat. As you can see, I have Mighty Mush. I'm going to call you Mighty Mush, even though your mush ain't as mighty as mine. But one day I'm going to make you grow a mush as mighty as the name.
Listen, give me a week. I'll give you one.
Give me a week. That's how our Asians roll, bro. That's how we roll.
Asian genetics do their job, man.
That's how we roll. People, you're very welcome to another episode of Pre-Match Carnage. We're going to be talking about all things Liverpool and, of course, Bournemouth and, of course, injuries and, of course, any transfer links that people have been speaking about all over social media, all reliable journalists. You're all very welcome. You're all very, very welcome. All we ask from you is a like and subscribe if you haven't. I believe I'm about 50 away from 35K. Maybe we can do it on today's show. Maybe by the weekend. Maybe by tomorrow. We're very, very close. We're very, very close. Mush, how you doing? It's been a little while since Liverpool have played football. It seems like ages, man. How have you been in this period? Have you been following AFCON or just taking a total break? Have you been watching any football? Are you just refreshing yourself because would you say it's the final furlong? Are we back to hit the final furlong? Not quite.
Yeah. I think. Do you know what? It's that international break causes a bit of a disruption there. I think the way I've been feeling is I'm missing the team. I'm missing. I love Liverpool with momentum, and I think Liverpool are best when we're playing every 3 days and winning, and it was a bit of a bummer to see that come to an end. But at the same time, all of this turbulence of the Trent injury, the Sabozlai injury, we just needed all of this to come back. And Klopp's comments yesterday means that a lot of these guys are going to be back, fit, firing. And we've all talked about it. We didn't expect that Mo Salah injury at AFCON, but there was always going to be carrying.
There's always something, isn't there?
Yeah, there's always going to be. The thing was, the requirement still was Mo Salah's weight needs to be carried whilst he's at AFCON. So the more players that are back, the better, man.
Yeah, absolutely. People, how do you pronounce it?
Bebe.
Bebe's free kick.
I don't know what the keeper was doing. It went in the middle of the goal.
Listen, a lot of the goalkeeping has been a bit, what's the word? Suspicious, maybe? I don't know, man. I don't want to put too much shade on the keepers. We're going to be discussing it all, people. Smash the like on your entry. I can see all the usuals in the chat building up nicely. We're going to get into so many talking points. I guess, Smush, we've got to touch upon the Jordan Henderson news. I mean, look, it's Liverpool, kind of Liverpool related. I don't want to be too much of a... I don't want to spend too long on it because I don't think I'm going to come across like a hypocrite. Because what my view on this is, look, he's no longer our business. He's done the job for us magnificently on and off the pitch. One of the most successful captains, definitely in my era and yours, of course, as well. A brilliant ambassador on and off the pitch as far as Liverpool's concerned.
Yep.
I'm not too concerned with his private, personal decisions after Liverpool. That's my view on it. Jurgen Klopp pretty much said the same. He said, no, I didn't speak to him after, but I'm happy for him. It looks like he is happy, and that is the most important thing to me. From time to time, I forget I actually don't read these kind of stories, but when it's not about us, I do read a bit. People are really critical of Hendo about the move, first there and now coming back. I don't know how we dare always judge these kind of things. We have one life and we have to make decisions. And sometimes our decisions are perfect in the first case, and sometimes it feels different after you made them. He was there and it was 100% an interesting experience. I spoke to him and 99% of football things were absolutely fine. It is the start of something and it's not like it is here. I imagine it would be immediately like that. There are many things to develop in the future, but he was never really critical or saying it's impossible and not there. So look, at the end of the day, we know the situation could have been handled for sure better when he left. But as Jurgen Klopp says, it's like people judge like they make perfect decisions in their life all the time.
Exactly that. And how many times have us here opened a business that wasn't the right decision, started a job that wasn't the right decision? I think the only thing that Henderson has to probably bear the brunt of is that he chose to make it very public. He chose to say the stuff about I'm going to affect the culture and change their views on LGBT and all these additional societal things that he promised. If it was just, I'm going to quietly walk off into the sunset, I don't think there would be eyes like this on him. And I just think whatever he has decided to do from a PR perspective of this move, it's something that he has to bear the brunt on. It doesn't link with Liverpool at all, because as we saw with the NHS stuff that he did during COVID, he did fantastic work for the club whilst at Liverpool. But these personal things that he's decided, if it's backfired, then it's something that will hit him. I guess, Grizz, I mean, you've seen out a lot more careers, I guess, of players you love than I have. And time is the biggest healer, right? Like, we live in the here and now. When we look 10 years on, people will remember most that Henderson was a great captain for Liverpool. And he
You'd
needs
like to think so, Mush, honestly. I mean, that's the only thing. Look, hopefully, as you said, time's a healer. And people in time will remember the good things about Henderson and Liverpool, and all the images of him doing that trophy lift that he used to do, and his influence on the Hendo Shuffle, that's it. And not the 6 months that he spent where there was a new project, a new culture, a new country. He tried something for whatever reason. That's his reasons, people. Like Jurgen Klopp, our main man, our coach, said, how dare we judge people on their lives and their decisions? Like, haven't we got enough to think about and worry about in our own lives? And look, like, people are saying exactly that. Some people are saying, first of all, we want to say hello to some regulars. Of course, one of my favorites is in the town, in the building. Afternoon, like button smashed. Evening, lads. Reverend Knight says, honestly, tired of the Hendo talk. Would love to move on to our new boys. And look, that's the way I feel. Look, Hendo, while he was here, was divisive. When he's not here, he's still being divisive. So the best way to do it, or deal with it, is wish him good luck or bad luck if you're that way inclined. And let's move on to pastures new. How on earth did he smash an Ajax record on shirt sales or something? How much are Ajax shirt sales? Bless our captain. Look, what's your thoughts on the move to Ajax as a footballing decision and as a footballing guy? We'll move on very quickly, people.
Yeah, I think Ajax, it's been a poor season for them. It's not the Ajax of, you're coming into a Champions League campaign and you're trying to, you're trying to compete for the very top. They are struggling. They're, I don't know if you heard about all of the stuff that happened in the boardroom. There was a mutiny. All of their executives left. So it's a time where maybe Henderson's leadership is a very useful thing for them. And they've got a lot of young players. They've had to kind of jig their business model. And this is a good time for him to do that, I think. So it's
absolutely. No, absolutely. You're right. You're spot on. I done a show with Ajax Fan TV yesterday. Shout out the guys. And thank you very much for asking me to guest. And I said the same thing. I said, look, I can't guarantee you anything that he may or may not bring on the pitch, because I haven't seen him play for a good 8 months or so. Right? Yeah. And I don't know what condition he's in, right? Or exactly. what kind of role you're going to give him. Okay. But I can definitely say off the pitch, and in terms of his leadership quality and organizational qualities, and in terms of his vocal, organizing of young children around him, young players around him, because Ajax are a very young team. He will definitely bring that, and professionalism, because, he was the ultimate professional while he was at Liverpool, sort of, to us anyway. Look, people can have their perceptions of him and his ethics and morals and whatever. I'm not interested in that right now. To us, he was a fantastic captain, went through loads of shit, not like some quarters, sold. Basically, we had agreed that deal with Fulham to swap with Dempsey, but he wanted to fight for his place. And so therefore, that might be an example to set for youngsters who...
resilience, right?
He'll bring resilience to the youngsters who may think we're not playing well at Ajax, maybe want to be sold, maybe not playing in the right position. Here's an example of things can get better if you put your heart and mind to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And look, I didn't realize Jordan Henderson was that interesting of a topic when we are top of the Premier League and we are fighting on all fronts and we have injuries and contracts and all sorts. But listen, maybe that's a compliment to him of the effect he's had on this club's history, right? Seeing us through probably our third most successful period in our history. So yeah, fair enough. I think I'm similar. Me and you have a similar energy to this, Grizz. Like,
Yeah, man, it is what it is. Look, he's none of our business now. Look at the season we're having. Look at where we are. Milner, him, Fabinho, Gini. In my opinion, legends. But they moved on. Why are we not giving the same energy to Gini or Fabinho or Milner or anyone else? It's Hendo scrutinizing his decision. And look,
and the mad bit is they're all in the same country as well.
Yeah, it's a bit of a madness. But look, Hendo, good luck to him from my point of view. It is what it is. None of your businesses. This is why you don't idolize footballers and hold them to higher standards. They're easy targets. MRK says he's just shit, man. He's not just shit. But even if he is, he's not our shit play anymore or our good play anymore. So it is what it is. And football-wise, it makes sense for Ajax. I'm not 100% sure if he's going to be a success there. I'm not 100% sure if he's ideally suited to them. But listen, it is what it is, man. On to Liverpool-related topics, guys. Over 100 of you guys in here already. Smash the like button, hit the like button, caress the like button. Do what you got to do, but make sure you hit that. Yeah, last night was a bit shaky for Liverpool fans. I think everyone went a bit, and a bit war. Suddenly, thoughts and prayers were going toward Mohamed Salah. Because look, he's that guy for us, Mush. He's that guy. Simply put, if Mohamed Salah is out for a period of time, we're gonna panic. We're gonna worry, right? What when you saw it or heard it or whatever, thoughts?
God, do you know what the funniest bit was? That in my group chat, right, I'm in this group chat with a lot of guys supporting different clubs, and everyone atted me, and I was just like, I was busy doing something. I thought, why am I getting any attention? They put a meme, have they found an Asian guy that looks like me? I don't know what, am I the butt of a joke? I don't know what was going on. Then suddenly, when I heard what the news was, my goodness, Grizz, I think I just could not. I think my problem is this year, we are a club of 21 first team squad members, but our fate is decided by 4 of them. And that is what scares me, because you've basically taken 25% of our dependable quality away by doing that. And
wow,
it's that's the way I see it. Like, him, Trent, Virgil, Alisson, everyone else in or out we can deal with. This is something else, man. And I don't know. What about you? Have you heard anything about what kind of length of time we're looking at? What kind of injury it is?
I spoke to an Egyptian journalist last night around 11 p.m. midnight, and he says basically Mohamed Salah felt discomfort in the posterior muscle. Now, I'm not no medical expert, and so I decided to Google posterior muscle while I was live on the Big Six. And posterior muscle apparently covers like a whole range of muscles. It depends on which part of the body, right? Right. So, but it's been later established today. So I'm going to bring up sort of a report that suggests this is an actual Paul Gorst, the Liverpool journalist who writes for the Echo, and he said the Reds number 11 was able to return to the subs bench for the second half as the Pharaohs fought back. So we've got to remember he went off in the first half. Initial concerns of a lengthy spell on the sidelines were eventually dampened inside the camp, with various sources both in Egypt and Ivory Coast, capital Abidjan, where the competition is being held, telling the Echo the Reds top scorer, blah, 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 had suffered a muscle injury in his back. If it was a Champions League final, he'd have carried on, said one. While another was hopeful that Salah would be cleared to continue in the knockout stage if they get far. As a result, Salah faces the prospect of his African command ending after just 2 games in the Ivory Coast. But yeah, look, it's one of those ones where we're just going to have to wait. The worrying thing from my point of view initially, Mush, was he doesn't go off unless he's injured.
I was just about to say the same thing, Grizz. I mean, the record for Mo Salah is that in 7 years at Liverpool, through injury, he has only been unavailable for 3 matches. So, for a player that durable, who is, I'm going to say it straight. I think Mo Salah, in terms of conditioning, is the best football athlete since Cristiano Ronaldo.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
And I genuinely mean that. I don't. If it was him playing
I'm
for
with
another,
you.
I would have said the same thing. Like the way he keeps himself, the way he fine tunes his body, and it's not weights, Grizz. It's all resistance bands and Pilates and all of that stuff to take care of your body. So my worry is whether it's a big injury or a small injury, the fact that there's any injury at all is super concerning. On the one hand, it's like you've just shown me, is it a minor back thing that can be fixed? Or is it the start of hitting your early to mid 30s where that tweak becomes a niggle, that niggle becomes a medium term injury? Is it the start of that? I'm praying that it's not, but I'd love to know what you think of that kind of, is this the start of something for Mo Salah?
Gosh, don't want to even go that route. I know exactly what you mean. I know what you mean. It's like he's at that age where, you know.
The thing is, Grizz, I am 33 years old. I was 1% of the footballer Mo Salah is, but I had a lot of energy and fitness on my side when I played the level I did. And it disappears. I'm sure you know that, Grizz. Suddenly at 32, everything starts to go at once.
This is it. This is it. But this is it. But this is the consolation of the other perspective of that is that's us. As you said, these guys are prime.
Yeah. I've got biryani flowing through my blood.
Yeah. I just had chicken curry, boneless chicken curry with a
Assad's dropped a great comment in there.
Has he? I'm gonna. Grizz knows about Paratha, not Pilates. Amazing content. Amazing. I mean, Assad, to be fair of him, has been having goes at me for years. I recognize Assad now. He's been having a go at me for ages, but I've never blocked him because I love his banter. It's brilliant. It's amazing. And lovely picture. Let us know where that picture is taken because that's quite a view. Let us know where that is. Look, it is what it is, man. Big up the Smokes in the building as well. Hardly gets subbed, man. He doesn't come off. Revenite saying, I think it was precaution. He'll be back after one game. Just a hunch though, Grizz. Yeah, look. Let's get the official answer from Jurgen Klopp when he was asked what the situation is with regards to what he knows about Mohamed Salah's situation. And he said, look, Klopp was obviously asked about Salah during the press conference. He says, we don't know anything. I spoke with him last night, so that's a bit of a lie because if you've spoken to him last night, Jurgen, you obviously know something. Do you know what I mean? So come on, Jurgen. He says so basically he goes on to say how it is with injuries. We need further assessment. That's what they are doing. Then we'll know more. Of course, in that moment it was a shock, wasn't it, for all of us? He felt it, and like what he says, and we all know how rarely Mo goes off or needs to go off. So there's definitely something. We will see. I do not have information now. As for whether Salah, as for whether Liverpool will send a delegation, because Mush, I can just imagine all our top quality medical team dressed in their white overcoats, getting on a plane, heading over to Africa, Ivory Coast, isn't it? Going to see, and put him in one of those gas chambers or ice chambers or something. Because, bro, it's one of those situations. Do what's needed to make sure this guy is okay, right?
Yeah, and I guess the other thing is, it's the equivalent of like being a teacher, yeah, and like you've got a load of students who are messing around in your class. You're always giving them detention, and then when you find out it's your favorite student that you suddenly have to give detention to for the first time ever, you're panicking because you're thinking, is it something I did? What has happened? Like, and that's the way it's like knocked everyone off course. We all thought maybe Mo will get out of form. Maybe Egypt will go far in the tournament. I don't know anyone from any club I've ever spoken to who's ever spoken about Mo Salah's unavailability. That's scary. That's the unknown that we don't know about.
It's a crazy record. I don't know it to top of head. Someone let me know what his actual record is of missing games. From the top of my head, I can remember.
It's 3. It's 3 in 7 years.
3 in 7 years.
Yeah, that's.
Do you know how?
Yeah, I heard that I can't remember where.
Do you know how crazy that is, Mosh?
Of
Like,
course.
that's insane levels of. So I think see, this is it, innit? Like in our culture, we say nazar. Yeah, this is evil eye. We're putting
Evil
the
eye.
evil eye on him, man. Like we're praising him too much now. Let's just stop, maybe, because what if it turns out to be a 4 to 6 weeks job? So I don't want to put any nazar on him, which is evil eye, people. But that's an insane record, Mush. I did not know that. So the Real Madrid shoulder stuff, right?
Yeah,
In
yeah,
the
yeah.
Champions League final, which is just someone decided to do a job on him, bastard Ramos, right? The the COVID where he was celebrating his brother's wedding,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well remembered. Well remembered. Byron here is saying one was with concussion apparently.
and one was concussion.
Mm.
One was with concussion. I remember that exactly. Uh, and Magpie's got a Nabe Enta Farana. What does that mean?
That means nah,
It's not
man.
rude, is it?
Nah, it says
No.
nah, man. You can't say that.
Okay, we can't say that. But listen, it is what it is, man. We're praying, we're hoping everything is fine. Yeah, look, Pasio says my worry is that Egypt will strap him up and send him out there. Same team that made this guy play every minute, back to back extra time games in 10
I
days
just
that
want to
ruined the
say
season. Go on.
about that. I understand the comment, but I think it would be wrong of us
Mhm.
to just put that on the Egyptian board and the Egyptian people. Mo Salah is proud of being Egyptian. He's the captain of Egypt. He will probably want to soldier through and play as well. It's not just external pressure. This tournament means a lot to him. It's the one he's never won, and he's never won something with Egypt. So it could be that he pushes to play through the pain barrier and,
Well,
exaggerate these.
from what we know as Mohamed Salah in terms of the character, it will be him. It will
Yeah.
be him. He's the guy that pretty much makes the calls, man. We know
He
this.
doesn't even like missing, like, you play a FA Cup third round against a League Two side. He doesn't want to even miss that.
He
So
doesn't want to lift. Imagine, and we all saw the video of him coming out after halftime, dressed in sort of out of his kit, with everything, and the way he was emotional and kicking every ball from the sidelines. He's a very, very passionate and proud Egyptian man. Yeah, look, it's really sad that people clowning him for not carrying his country and possibly faking an injury. Like, you have to be some grades of delusion and thick to think that Mohamed Salah would fake an injury. Like, that's wild. Glenn says Salah is not even thinking of EPL right now. He would have let his country down
yeah,
by faking.
I respect it.
100%. LFC Aaron's in the building. He says, evening, everyone. Evening.
Aaron.
Rafa DJS, that's our Dazza. He says, has he returned to Liverpool? If not, he'll be back soon.
I don't think he will return, only because if Egypt maybe make it through the groups or something, he might be available for latter rounds. And AFCON, the top three basically go through out of four. So they're almost guaranteed to go through as long as they don't mess
This
up.
is the issue, you see, because they're next playing on where is it?
They played Ghana yesterday.
Egypt have one game left in the AFCON campaign and currently sit on 2 points. They can still qualify for the knockouts as part of the top two or as one of the best third place sides. The next game, however, is on Monday. Where are we now? Friday. And Salah's involvement will be in serious doubt. Liverpool, for one, will be eager for their winger to be handled with caution. Oh, we just don't know. We're just going to have to wait, right? We don't know what the situation is going to be. We're just going to have to wait. The way the Egyptian sources are relaying the information, it suggests that it's nothing too serious. But that also means he's probably going to play.
You need to also remember, Grizz, that Mo Salah, in Egyptian terms, is probably the most powerful man in Egypt. So
100%.
the PR message is being very controlled right now, because I'm sure if they say Mo Salah has a major injury, it's going to cause pandemonium in both Egypt and the
panic.
So yeah, I think right now this whole, like you just said, Klopp is claiming he doesn't know anything when he's spoken to him. So the Salah team is obviously being very careful with how this plays out. I think that's the big thing here.
We'll bloody hoping that it's nothing crazy as well, man. To be honest with you, man, it's like he is our talisman. We may have other heroes in Virgil, Alisson, Trent, He's the true talisman, man. Um,
We're
you
talking
know,
about one of the greatest Premier League players of all time. That's not an exaggeration. That's the truth. That is literally the truth. And I think we're getting to a stage now where, man, it
yeah.
really actually, really almost validated me because now recently we've seen, for example, the retirement of Eden Hazard. We've seen a few other debates where a lot of the big football platforms have put out media and people are responding. The number of non-Liverpool fans that have Mohamed Salah ahead of your Hazards, your Ronaldos, and things like that. He's doing his own work. We don't have to say anything. Other fan bases are recognizing it.
Mm. Smash them likes, people. 160 of you guys are in here. Smash them likes if you haven't already. And let's keep it going. Um, okay, so look, obviously we need to speak about the game.
Yeah.
Every game is becoming vital now, and it's like nervousness to the max, to the core. Every game is a cup final from now onwards, right, Mush? There's no easy game. There's no easier game or harder game in my opinion because the pressure involved, the injuries, the situation, everything else means that every game is it. It's that feeling again like we had in the previous races against Man City. And Bournemouth away is the scene of one of the most horrible performances of last season. It's another game where we have to wrong or right. Tell us how you're feeling while I remember to try to get the lineup what was last season there.
Yeah, I guess the big thing of what you've just said about every game being important, I think the return of Kevin De Bruyne has shown that there will be no slip ups that will be accepted in this race. And City, I think, are not going to be letting up. Haaland's going to be back soon. We are going to have to be at our very best and most consistent to stand any chance, by the way. I mean, City had gone to the Club World Cup. We thought the gap was huge. It's what, 2 points, isn't it? So
Mm-hmm.
there's no cushion there. It's a one game swing. It's done. So I guess the big thing for me is, Grizz, Bournemouth are good. Bournemouth are good. I watch a lot of Bournemouth, and it's not just Dominic Solanke. Ryan Christie is very good technically. Semenyo can carry the ball up the pitch. They're slowly bringing Sinistera into the team. There's a lot happening at Bournemouth right now, and their manager has a great pressing system. And I think the other thing that doesn't help us is that we are a team that loves to have space, and it's a tight, tiny ground that we seem to always struggle in. What was the other? There was another game where we lost 3-2. I remember Adam Smith scored. That was in one of the races as well. I'm pretty sure. So it's always been a ground we struggle in. I think. I don't. Apart from that one game where we won 5-2, where Salah got a hat trick, every other one has seemed to be pretty tough. Oh, Semenyo's at AFCON. Interesting.
So yeah. So I was gonna say. So I'm gonna get onto their lineup in a minute as well, or possibly because they've got a few issues as well. Last season, this was our lineup. On paper, all right, not a bad lineup until you see that midfield away to Bournemouth. It's one of those ones where you're Stefan Bajcetic and Harvey Elliott, two kids next to Fabinho, who was literally out on his feet
Is it
already.
at Anfield on Sunday?
No,
It's
no,
at Bournemouth, is it? It's
it's
at by
at it's at Bournemouth. It's at
the
Bournemouth.
comments are saying at home, but I'm sure it's away.
No,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. It's at Bournemouth, 100%, million percent. I'm going. So
Oh,
yeah, I
nice.
know. So look, that was our lineup last season. The back four we know had issues. We know the midfield was depleted, and we know as a result that affected the strike force. Um, we're a different team tomorrow, right? We're a different team this season, mentality wise, energy levels rise, and hopefully result wise, right?
Yeah. I would hope. I would expect. I think one thing that gives me a lot of confidence is that Dom Solanke has been bullying centre backs, playing really well, but the form that Virgil, the form that Ibrahim or Konate are in right now, then they're in no mood to get bullied, and they're some of the few defenders that are more physical than him. I think a big thing is going to feel like we beat Arsenal without without Virgil on the pitch, without Mo Salah. So that is going to inspire a lot of confidence, I think. And Yeah, I just hope that we I think if we work hard and make sure we're winning our duels, we'll win this game. And I know that sounds like a bit of a
So
throwaway.
simple, but sometimes it's like that, right?
And you know what it's like at Bournemouth? It's a tight ground. It's easy for the crowd to get on top. Not on top. They're not wild fans, but the atmosphere can get on top of you. We saw Chelsea struggle there a few days ago as well. But yeah, I'm just more conscious of the fact that if we do our job defensively, then we will win. But I don't know about you, but I'm not expecting too many goals from us. How are you? What are you thinking?
If we score early, because look, basically, let's just try to, before we get into trying to work out the Liverpool stuff. So their website, if you go to their website, and it suggests sort of they're going through a few injury problems and situations as well. So they basically, the Bournemouth boss Iriola has ruled out Adam Smith, and that's their two fullbacks basically.
Yeah,
So Milos Kerkez has been very impressive,
Mhm.
at left back. Smith missed the Emirates FA Cup when Kerkez has been absent, right? So he's out. He did, however, refuse to rule out Lloyd Kelly, but wasn't sure if a defender would be involved. Now, Lloyd Kelly is someone who interests us because we've been interested in the past, and I believe we still have a slight interest because he's going to be a free transfer in the summer.
Where do you sit on him?
I'm not sure, man. He's in that. He's in that space of he's good.
Mm.
He doesn't displace anyone from my team. Is he good enough to challenge Robertson? Or is he a left-sided centre-back? I don't think he's good enough to displace either position. But he's good.
Yeah, I just think we're drifting into a place. How old is Lloyd Kelly? He's quite young.
Young, yeah.
Okay, but
Yeah.
then I think if there's development available, then I think that is a good thing to have. I really don't want anyone to get in the way of Kwanzaa's development. So I don't want someone coming in who disrupts that. Left back, look, man, maybe this conversation would have been easier a few months ago when Simicast wasn't impressing at all, but Simicast has proven to be a really good level of deputy. We haven't looked like a lesser team with him on the pitch. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's a priority position yet. I guess the big question is what kind of Robertson comes back into the team. He's never had a layoff this long, so I'm interested to see Robertson's level to see if he can come back that same energetic, quick player.
Just to finish off the Bournemouth injury news before we get onto the Liverpool injury situation, he says Lloyd Kelly is the only player I would leave open. He's definitely not 100% guaranteed to play. He's the only one who has a slight chance of being in the squad. Elsewhere, the Cherries are missing Marco Senesi, who is a very good centre-back for them. He had a very good game last season, I remember. But he's picked up a fifth booking against Spurs, so he misses out. Nice. And then, I think this could be hopefully crucial. Mush Semenyo and Ouattara at the African nations with Ghana, Burkina Faso. James Hill is a young player, comes back and probably will slot in into left back for them, which may influence our team selection when we try to pick our team. So bear that in mind. So they're missing a centre back, they're missing another centre back, I believe, and they're missing both their fullbacks.
Yeah,
their starting fullbacks, which means they will be depleted at the back. And they're missing Semenyo in midfield, stroke attack, who's a monster. But they've got Philip Billing, who's been there, done it. And they've got our man guy. They've got our ex-man, Dominic Golanke, who's having a bad boy season. What do you remember of him? Was you a fan of his when he was there? What did you think?
Oh, do you know what? I think he came with I remember before he came when him, Tammy Abraham and a few others were breaking through at Chelsea, and Jose Mourinho made the comment that and him and Lewis Baker as well, he said that if these guys don't play for England, then I've failed as a manager. That's the level of, of kind of regard that one of the best managers of all time had for him. And
wow,
he just joined a team where in that 17-18 season, Grizz, we didn't have the time to develop a player. We were trying to break into the Champions League through the league whilst also reaching the final. That is not the time for a 19-year-old to come and get minutes. And that's why I never judged his quality as well. You come on for the last 5 minutes of games when you're playing in cup games and things like that. You're playing with the second string or other youngsters. There was just no basis to judge him on, and I'm really happy for him. I hope tomorrow isn't a day where he has another moment, but I mean on Sunday. But I'm really happy that a young player lives up to their reputation, because I can imagine for a young person, 26 is still young. It must eat you alive when people have expectations of you and you're not meeting them. I think.
Is he ready for another big move now? Or would you say stay at Bournemouth, you're the number one there, you're the main man there, keep playing? And you're right, with the Liverpool situation, it was bad timing. I have no doubts he would have been a very good squad player. Do you know what reminds me of, Mush? Do you remember when Robbie Keane joined us and everyone thought, yeah, this and
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
But it was
yeah.
just the timing of Robbie Keane. And we know Robbie Keane was a good player. We know Solanke was a good player. Just the timing was wrong. He was never going to break the partnership of the forwards that we had at the time. Just
Mhm.
like Robbie Keane was never going to break up Stevie G and Torres up front. I just think it was bad timing. But now that he's established, now he's at that age where I think Spurs would come in for him. I think maybe
I I
Aston
take
Villa.
I take him at Liverpool. Honestly, I take him at Liverpool.
Oh,
I I think one thing that Jurgen Klopp loves in a striker, especially a forward, is someone who can do a bit of everything. Solanke is strong. He's got great control. He can carry the ball. He knows how to make great runs. Can occupy two centre backs at once. We've seen Virgil have a tough time against him. It's I think he's more ready now. I read a really interesting study actually about young footballers in England, right? So you look at Solanke now, you look at someone like James Maddison and how he was shining at the start of the season. So the study basically showed that in third world countries, your Brazil's, countries in Africa and Asia, not including South Korea, of course, but Middle East as well, is that because you don't have as much structured education, you complete your 10,000 hours of football a lot earlier. And whereas these England players and English players see their best years in their 26 and 27s, because that's when they complete their 10,000 hours. So yeah, I think it's interesting. I can
I
see some comments talking about how they don't want Solanke. I personally think a lot of people don't want Solanke because they've seen his career path. And if you didn't know anything about him and you saw him doing this at Dortmund, or you saw him doing this at, Villarreal, you'd probably be a lot more open to it. I think it's because we saw
It's
him,
always the case. It's always
yeah,
the
we saw him
case.
go
Yeah.
down a division and things like that. So suddenly everyone's turning their nose up. But everyone has to go through this process, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, we're going to come on to the Liverpool news and Liverpool stuff now. Huge boost as we found out this morning. So obviously, none of these are back for the Bournemouth mush, but Liverpool are set for a huge triple fitness boost with
Mm.
Sabozalai, Trent, and Robertson all in line to train next week and be in contention for the games. That's massive, right? We
They've said
knew that.
Fulham though, right? So this game should be that Sunday's not likely, right?
No, Sunday's not. I personally, and I said it on our show last week. I think Sabozalai may have an outside chance of being in the squad, outside chance. But for Fulham, I expect them all to be available, but not to be used. To be honest with you, because Fulham, away. I think they may all get a run out in the FA Cup against Norwich next week, which will be an ideal game. To be honest with you, to come back to after you've had an injury.
What? Okay, Grizz, I've got a question to ask
Go
you.
on.
How desperate, do you think Klopp is to get into that final and win that Carabao Cup? And B, how desperate are you to win it? And listeners, listeners and comments, let me know as well. Where do you sit and where do you think Klopp sits?
I think we may be same. I honestly think we're both desperate to get into the League Cup final. We're here now, Mush. We're
Yeah, yeah.
here. We are.
180 minutes away from lifting it.
We're here now, bro. We're here. So why wouldn't we? Now, in terms of how it affects the selection, if you're trying to segue into how it affects the selection, I wouldn't. I think Szoboszlai would be the only one I'd bring in for Fulham.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. So look, what Klopp says is they're all positive but not ready. They're all going in the right direction, getting closer and closer, and some of them might be in training next week. But for the Bournemouth, I don't expect. But yeah, Trent Close, Dom Close, Robert Close, they're all going in the right direction. But for this weekend's game, no. I
Yeah.
think I'm with Klopp. I want that, and I want to win. We're probably going to play Chelsea. I know they're 1-0 down. That will be a high-profile game against an enemy of ours, and I'd want to beat them. Trophies breed confidence. We have got a lot of new players and young players in our squad, and it will be a massive boost to them to get a trophy and a cup and a Wembley visit out the way early in their careers. Szoboszlai is new with us. Elliott's still young. Curtis Jones is still young. McAllister's still young. I know he's won the World Cup. All right, small trophy, but he's gonna want to win something with us. Endo something with us. Kwanzaa maybe get a run out in the final. You never know. You never know. He might think Kwanzaa deserves a place in the final. So it was vital. Nunes hasn't won a trophy with us, right? No, he hasn't, has he? So,
No.
So it could be massive for us, man. I want us to win, man. I want us to win. Go on. Where are you?
I'm actually going to disagree, not with your thoughts, but with your words. You said trophies build confidence.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say that trophies build history. And the reason why I'm saying that is I'm not even talking about winning this trophy just because it might lead to something else. This trophy itself means something. I mean, I don't know if any you or our listeners have had the privilege of going to the Bernabeu, right? Mm-hmm. When you go on that stadium tour at the Bernabeu, right? The trophy walk is about 15 minutes. It's almost a kilometer long. Yeah. Do you think that trophy hall is just filled with La Ligas and Champions Leagues? No, it's not.
Thank you.
It's filled with Copa del Rey's. It's filled with Super Cups. It's filled with all of these things. A legacy is made up not just of the biggest moments. It's showing that any type of challenge that was put in front of you, you were able to overcome. I want this to be part of our history. If I could say Klopp has won 7 trophies, then it becomes 8, 9, 10. This is how it starts. It's not going to be 4 Champions Leagues, Grizz, however much we want it to be. So this trophy means a lot to me. And I will say now, those 2 finals we had against Chelsea in 2022, the ground, the atmosphere, the importance was electric. When we turned up for that final, did anyone look at it like it was a second-rate competition? Wembley was packed. The ground was electric. The Chelsea didn't want to lose. They fell to their knees crying when Kelleher scored that pen.
Of course.
Yeah,
I'm with you. Do you know what, Mush? It's so funny. I'm in a WhatsApp group with loads of other fans as well, in terms of clubs fans, and even some of the Liverpool fans. I had to correct them, and I used the same argument as you. I swear to God, no lie. I said to them, do you know why we're the greatest club in England? Do you know why we're the most successful? I said, tell me why. And they were like, well, we won the most trophies. I said, do you think we've won the most leagues and Champions Leagues only?
Exactly.
Do you think the trophy cabinet is full of FA Cups and League Cups as well, which made our history, which made us the most successful clubs? If you minus them, we're not the most successful club. It's simple as that.
Simple as.
So they are part of the reason, they are part of the heritage of this club that we're the most successful club. So every trophy is exactly that. It's a trophy to put up in your cabinet. So I think the way I would approach it, Mush, is we have to go with our strongest lineup tomorrow. Our strongest lineup on Wednesday, I believe. Was it Tuesday, people? Let me know. Is it Wednesday?
Yep.
And then we can relax. Okay, I don't mean relax. I mean relax the lineup, rotate the lineup, and hopefully still be good enough to beat Norwich, because then we've got Arsenal and Chelsea in consecutive weeks, I believe. And then we have to. So this is our 2 games in 3-4 days that we have to go strong as possible.
And on top of that, Grizz, if you weigh up the Norwich game and the Fulham game, which of those games are you closer to winning the trophy? Even if we went full strength versus Norwich, there's still another 5-6 rounds to go where there's no guarantee that that sacrifice of the squad was worth it. Whereas with Fulham, I know if we go full strength, do you know what? The final was in our sights, so it's worthwhile. So yeah, man, I definitely agree with you. I see Norwich as the rest game, and I need, honestly, whether we win or not, I don't know. I really want us to, but Grizz, I need to see us dying for that shirt on Sunday. I need to see that at least. I don't want
On
to see.
Sunday.
Yeah, I don't want to see a 50-50
Yeah.
loss. I don't need it to be Man City for it to be important. These are the games. These are the games that stop you from winning titles when you don't win them. When we didn't win some of these titles against City, it's not that we couldn't beat City. It was also that we dropped points in these sloppy games as well. I don't want that to be the reason. If we stay with City throughout this run, but it's City themselves who beat us, I'll be able to sleep at night.
Yeah.
But it's Bournemouth. Right now, I see Arsenal fans falling apart mentally at the moment because it's not that Liverpool and City cost them their title charge. It was Fulham and West Ham. I don't want the same feeling. So
I hear you, bro. I hear you.
I
All right, look, let's try tuck into the lineups, knowing that those three players that we said are not back. We have pretty much the same squad as we had last time. This is our friends at This Is Anfield. I recommend you guys go and check out This Is Anfield, one of the best Liverpool websites out there. And I use their stuff all the time, as you guys know. Avid viewers of the channel will know. This is a predicted lineup from This Is Anfield. I think the back four, including Alisson, back five, picks itself.
Agree.
Because Bradley was fantastic. Khanage, I think, starts over Kwanzaa, who I think was 100% plays against Norwich. I think I hope and pray that this back four goes into the next two games. Would you agree, including Fulham? If we look at it as a collective, now I know our focus is all on Bournemouth. In fact, let's not confuse ourselves. Let's focus on Bournemouth first. That's going to be the back five.
One task at a time. And I'm with you. This back four is our best available back four right now. And I think I always talk about it on this show. I'm all about building momentum when it comes to confidence. And when Bradley has had a game like that, the wrong thing would be to take him out and put someone else in. So keep Conor Bradley in there. If he doesn't have a good game, do you know what? That happens. It happens to players more senior than him, players better than him. But right now, that is definitely a back four that I trust. I'm really interested to know, Grizz, what your thoughts are in a man who has the only white background in his image, because he seems to be the one dividing opinion at the moment. And
I think there's two. Roles and situations and two lineups that we can discuss. So we both, I think, agree McAllister and Jones are absolute nailed on.
Yep.
So then the third one is Gravenberch or Elliott, right? Because I don't like Elliott in that front three role. Where are you with that? You could say Gravenberch, these are the games where Gravenberch was bought to step up, step in, and rise. In my humble opinion, I don't think he has yet enough to warrant starting ahead of Elliott, who has stepped up, who has risen, and I believe deserves a start.
Yes, I agree. I would much rather Elliott plays in Gravenberch's role right now, which this lineup shows. To be honest, this is the exact lineup I would go for. It's mainly for me because Gravenberch's passing has proven to be poor so far. And in a tight, small ground where Bournemouth are probably going to make sure they have a good shape, Elliott's creativity, ability to see a pass is going to be more useful than Gravenberch's ability to beat players and dribble past them. So for me, this is the kind of role. If you were to be more specific and almost be football manager-like, Elliott for me would be 15 yards higher up in that image than what we're seeing now. I need him to operate in that awkward space he does between the midfield and defense, turn on it and slip people through. So yeah, that's where I see. I'm with you as well. McAllister and Jones definitely, but Elliott is my man for the game.
I've been listening to a few Liverpool fans speak about Gravenberch needs to be given a chance and trusted. And some have even mentioned the height factor because Bournemouth bullied us last season. But
Okay.
shall I tell you my answer to that? Gravenberch has hardly won any fucking duels.
I
So
mean,
what's the
he
point?
lost 11 of them alone in one
So
game.
what's the point of picking him for that matter? I'd prefer if that was the avenue that we need to go down or think about. I'd prefer Gakpo in the
Yeah.
lineup. He's more physical, much more physical. Even in a defensive situation when we're facing set pieces, he's much more effective than Gravenberch, who just hasn't got that side to him yet. He has to get it. He will get it. Otherwise, he won't have a Liverpool career, successful Liverpool career. But he hasn't got it right now, Mush.
Yeah, and what you've just said about the kind of team that Bournemouth are, that swarm you with that press that Iraiola's
Yeah.
got. Gravenberch isn't the kind of player to rise to it. He's the kind of player who's I don't want to say sinks. Sinks is harsh. It's more that his confidence drops, and you can see it in his body language. You know what I mean? It's not one where. Whereas Elliot, even if he's not physical, one thing we can't doubt with Harvey is his determination.
Oh,
Right?
I love him, Mush. Like
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
grown.
It's like,
Everyone,
my son. It's like watching my son on the pitch. Like
he
that's what,
puts in it. He puts it in, bro. So many people doubted him. I wasn't sure of what role he's got in this team, what position he's got in this team. I think this is his position, much better than the other position. Which means then we can pick another striker or attacker to go in the front three. We know we've got the famous five. We know Mohamed Salah is not here. There is three to pick from four.
yes. Where do you sit? I want to know where you sit.
You've given yours away because you said this is yours, yeah?
This is mine, so I want to know what yours is and why.
Okay. You've heard me wax lyrical about Jota,
Yes.
so it's not an agenda because you know what I think of a Diogo Jota, but I think taking into consideration he's been out, taking into consideration we still have pretty much a month to go where we need Diogo Jota in every game because Mohamed Salah won't be back for another month, right? I'm still willing to hold him back just a little bit more.
Hold on though. You said that none of the games past this matter, and this is the only game that matters in terms of wanting to win.
I'm getting there, but there's a tactical reason why I'm not picking Jota to start.
Okay.
And the tactical reason is the fact that their back line is going to be very, very diminished in terms of their second, third, stroke, fourth choice players playing. And therefore, I would pick Diaz on the right because we've just discussed their left back options are depleted unless Lloyd Kelly plays. Even if Lloyd Kelly plays, he won't be fully fit. Okay.
I don't know why Diaz should be scared of someone like Lloyd Kelly anyway.
And Nunes, I think, would cause them major issues from that left running in behind. Areola's side are all about having a brilliant offside trap, brilliant offside line when they've got their usual team. They're not going to have their usual team. I don't think they'll be able to be as disciplined and hold a straight line with the new back four, new back line, plus the midfielders missing. That's why I think Nunes and Diaz from the flanks could be devastating for us. And I mean, when I mean flanks, I don't mean wide men. I mean the old Sadio and Mohamed Salah type wide attacking role.
Yeah.
And then Gakpo plays exactly how Gakpo plays.
Well,
And then we've got Jota to come on if needed from 60th minute onwards if shit hits the fan. I just think this is one of those games where it also give us physicality, pace, trickery. I think it should be enough for Bournemouth, man. That's my thinking.
I'm
just thinking.
I know. I'm actually in the opposite side to you, and I'll tell you what I mean by opposite, which is my mindset is also the same as yours, where it's going to be an unfamiliar back four for them. The relationships won't be there, and for me, a player as sharp as Jota in the box will exploit It will exploit any unfamiliar relationships, any space that you shouldn't leave, any little small dart that you won't track because you don't have that relationship with your mate that you're playing centre back with. I think where you're saying, Grizz, Diogo Jota comes on and makes an impact, I think Jota starting finishes off that game within an hour. I think that's where I sit.
It's just a tough call,
The
man.
sharpness will
I hear
do.
that. People, what do you think? Let's go through some comments. Let's go through them comments. What people think. Graven Birch, they're saying can get minutes against Norwich. Yeah, that's fine. Al Guapo says Gakpo, Nunes, Diaz. Sam says I'd sell Elliot. To be honest, bringing a right winger that would be the heir to Salah. Elliot isn't a winger. Okay, maybe Elliot isn't a winger, but wow.
You know,
Alaguapo agrees with me. He says Nunes on the left.
I'm with you on Nunes on the left, though.
Leandart Notrus says Jota will make the difference. He agrees with you. And no one would argue with Jota making the difference, you know. Big up the Talking Gas podcast. Big up Grizz and Mush. Gutty, we didn't beat Norwich. Keep up the class work as always. Thank you very much. He says, AK says Nunes braces overdue. And Iso just says, Iso one word Jota. I don't know, man. I don't know. I just think wide, because look, automatically when you're missing defensive players, what do you do automatically as a team?
Yeah,
as
you
a
go
coach?
in, you cave in, right?
You try to
goal.
you protect the central as much as you can. You possibly play 2-3 DMs in front of them, and so I think the central areas will be blocked out. All right, and I think out wide is very difficult to protect wide areas. I think Bradley will be pretty dangerous with Diaz on the overlap, and Diaz coming in. I just don't want him coming in with Jota space as well.
Can I ask you a question though, Grizz? If a team that has relationships with defenders that don't play together and they protect the middle of the goal, don't you think that they want the ball to be out wide and they'll just crowd the central areas? If you don't have someone there disrupting that, it's very hard to come in from out wide and affect.
Do you know what it is? I'm thinking maybe I'm getting ahead of myself and I'm thinking Mane and Salah days. Do you get it?
So we're thinking about two legendary players.
I know, but what I'm thinking is I want Nunes and Diaz to be Mane and Salah for one day, and don't play as wide wingers. Okay. I want them to play inverted forwards, man. Okay. I genuinely think that's the way to beat this Bournemouth team. Obviously, we don't know what Klopp's got up his sleeve, but I think this pretty much will be the midfield. There possibly is a height issue. McAllister and Elliott short as well. Jota short as well. That's why I'm thinking bring in Gakpo. Do you know what I mean? A bit of because I know we got the three centre backs pretty much, Van Dijk, Gomez, and Konate. I like the sound of that because they will be looking for set pieces, and more set pieces. Because I think that will be there. Because Solanke is good in the air as well. We know Billing is a bloody 6'4" monster. That's where I'm at, bro.
I'm worried about, what, you just mentioned Billing and just his ability to run through and carry that ball in the middle of the pitch. Who's stopping him out of those smaller guys is just such a worry, isn't it?
Man, we can't. Look, if we have enough of the ball like we should have, look, they've got dynamic midfielders in Christie and Alex.
Yeah, Alex thing, what's it called? No, Lewis thing.
No, not Lewis Cook. The guy we were interested in, they bought him in the summer. Someone in the chat's gonna mention his name any second. Scott. There you go. Yeah. Alex Scott, is it? Is it Alex Scott? Alex Scott. Yep, there you go. Our chat's amazing. They know. Very knowledgeable chat.
Ball knowledge, yeah?
Ball knowledge, man. Ball knowledge galore. Alex Scott and Christie are two...
Christie's very technical.
Hard-working, energetic, good on the ball. And then they're going to have Billing. So that's going to be their midfield. They're going to have the young son of the famous Patrick Kluivert, Mush.
Yeah.
Justin Kluivert. He's been around the block a bit, but he's got a lot to prove. Solanke, I don't know who's going to play on the left for it might be the guy you said from Leeds, Sinistero.
Sinistera maybe, but I also can see Tavernier does play as well, right?
Tavernier as well. Oh
Tavernier's a
yeah.
busy player. The thing is, Grizz, it's so funny that, for example, yeah, let's say City are going away to Bournemouth.
They would.
You
I know
you
who
you
it would be.
mention these names. You
I
mention
know.
these names,
I know.
and you'll be like, "What are you talking about? They're going
I
to win."
know. I know what you're gonna
Suddenly,
say.
when Liverpool are playing them, the
We have to
thought,
worry about height. We
yeah,
have to worry about
the
corners.
thought of Tavernier playing against Liverpool is now a worry. that's the
What
beauty
is
of
it? Is it what is it then? Is it like are we? I think we're. Don't want to swear too much. I think we're a nasty team to play against again. In terms of it's very hard to beat us.
Yeah, I think we are. I think our defense doesn't allow you to believe that you're going to win any battles. I think that's the big thing. Even if you get past the midfielder of ours, when you get to the way Virgil's tackling, the way Konate is basically ending lives when he wins the ball, I think that's such a good base to start from, and that's where we've been most successful. When
Red Zabby reminds us we did beat them in the League
yeah,
Cup
I
without
mean
beating
Nunes put it into that top corner, didn't he? Coming in
from
from the left.
from the left. And look, by the way, people, I know we beat them without beating, but again, they didn't have a lot of their players as well in that game. So we
And
have to be fair.
also when we did beat them in the League Cup, Iraola, who lost, I think it was 5 out of his first 7 games or something like that, he was still developing his way of playing. So
Yeah.
it's a very different team.
Look, they've put up a brilliant show. I believe that's their only defeat in 7, the last game. So they've been very good form. Mush, we're gonna have to go there, and as you said, fight for it. Remind Jurgen Klopp and Allison and Virgil and who else? Konate. They're gonna be the ones from last season. There, have to remind them, yo. Do you remember last season?
How much it cost us.
How much it hurt us? Like
Definitely.
we were gutted. We felt like shit after that game, and they must have. So he's got to remind them that in order for our talent to do the talking, we have to put in the work rate. Do you believe we will? Let's finish off with a prediction.
Of course, I believe we will. I have to believe we will. It's all about manifesting at the moment, Grizz. If I don't believe the team are going to win, the universe, I can't let that energy seep into this team from 300 miles away with no connection to these players. But I don't want to see a way of Liverpool losing. I just want our defenders to have an exceptional game, such that it's like you say, Grizz, on our attackers. We've done our job. You protect us. That's the main thing.
Mate, we're 10 away from 100 likes. Can we get that sorted right this very second, people? You know what I mean? Come on, people. 10 away from 100 likes. Sort that out. I think we have to win. You're right, Mush. There's no oohing and ahhing. I think it's going to be nasty. I think it's going to be disgusting. It's not going to be a classic. They've got players missing. We've got players missing. They may not be as gung-ho as they would have been if they had every one of their players. I think that might work against us. I think they're going to be more compact, more defensive.
Yeah,
whereas I think
stink the game out as well.
Whereas I think they would have been like really coming at us,
expansive,
and that would have suited us. Do you know what I mean? Well, I'm going for a scrappy, possibly even a 1-0. You know, just a 1-0 or a 2-0. That's what I'm going for.
You know what's so funny, Grizz, is that I'm with you because I know I made the point that I can't see how Bournemouth score, but I also can't see how we score. Not saying that we don't have a good attack. What I'm saying is, you know, with some teams, you can picture how we're going to get a goal. With Bournemouth, I can just see, even if it's a scuffed double ricochet from a corner.
I don't care. Players only had 4 days off, which is perfect, really. Like, even in our normal day lives, man, we'd love just 3-4 days off because at the end of the day, we do love going into work, having a purpose in life, being active. You know, being away from work too long can have the adverse effect on you as well. So they've had 3 training sessions. This break seems about right, Mush. It doesn't seem too long, does it?
Yeah, I just see this break as a rehabilitation week, basically. Everyone get with that physio, get to the club doctor, come back in the shape you need to be into this run now, you know, to see us to the end of this season. That's all I see it as. I don't see it as, oh, are they going to be rusty? Are they going to be this? Nah, I don't see it that.
Just the last couple of comments we're going to go through. This is probably our hardest league game in terms of injuries. We'll be happy with a 1-0 win over them. I think what Mutsa means is this is probably the last game before we get everyone back in terms of squad. It'll be stronger.
Squad kind of thing.
Yeah. Red Zabi says, just no Gakpo in the 8, please. You don't like him there, do you, either?
No, because I just, it's just not what he does. I like you said, he's a really good finisher, but we keep him so far away from goal. I don't like us doing that.
We take that. Nunes cutting in off left, missing a cross into the corner. We take that.
Honest,
take that. We want 3 points. We want the race to go on. We need to, at least for the time being, because we know Man City, I've got the easiest fixtures for the next 7 games. At least on paper, we need to be 5 points ahead of them. It'll just make us feel a bit confident. No, if we win, we go 5 points clear.
Oh, okay. Oh, as in just the mental advantage.
Just the mental advantage, yeah. We know they're going to win their game in hand.
I never asked you, Grizz, actually. Maybe because we haven't had the chance of meeting at that time on these big runs we've had with City. Are you one who prefers to play first, or do you prefer to play second?
Play first all day long.
Yeah?
Yeah, get the win out of the way, man. Put the scoreboard pressure on them.
Rather than chasing it down.
I couldn't take the pressure, man. I couldn't take the pressure, man. I support Pakistan in the cricket, bro. We've never been good chasers. We're shit chasing, man. We bat first and
you don't have a Kohli, that's why.
Yeah, exactly, man. Well, you know what I mean? There's not many Kohlis in the world, I tell you that, man.
He's injured. He's injured in Egypt right now, our Kohli. That's the problem.
Yeah, our Kohli's injured in Africa, actually, in Ivory Coast.
Oh, yeah, in the Ivory Coast.
Guys, we promised to keep this about 45 minutes an hour. We've actually gone on close to an hour and 10 minutes. Just being mean and mush. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, show us the love and courtesy of just a like. Nothing else, just a like. And that'll be amazing. Let me just see if everyone's listened and we have got over 100 likes, because that's quite a decent ratio. Amazing. Do you know what? I love you lot. You lot never let us down. The ratio, 100 likes out of 160, that's a tremendous ratio. Not many channels get that kind of ratio of likes. Big up yourselves. Big up Mush. We'll be back tomorrow with a call-in, massive, huge call-in show as usual. Mush may or may not join us, but the usual firm will be there. We'll be back with Red Fellas on Sunday. And then, hopefully, guys, we are cup final week. Possibly. We could be talking about cup final week, guys. This could be pivotal. This could be huge. This could be mad. This has been Pre-Match Carnage. Bournemouth, Liverpool. Me and Mush saying thank you and over and out.
Peace.